What is up, my lovely people in Blue Tablet land? So for today's video, guys, I would like to draw you all this tired looking Grim Reaper. If that's something you think you'd like to follow along with, stick around and let's get started. So I figured I'd draw him some oval eyes to add to the sleepiness and tiredness because of his gruesome and tiring schedule. And then I figured I'd give him these half-eyed looking eyeballs to add to the tiredness factor. I don't know, something about this Grim Reaper is the fact that, I kind of wanted to make him look sleepy because, he's got such a hectic job. He's got to collect all these souls from the afterlife or take it to the afterlife, and he's just been overwhelmed. So that's why I thought I'll make him a tired one as opposed to the regular ones, which are, just like, I am ready to collect your souls. I don't know why I decided to make that noise, but just kind of like see if I could animate the creature while I'm drawing it for you guys. I actually experimented with doing a rotoscope animation. And I kind of like how it came out. This is for my other channel. And I always didn't know what rotoscope animation was. I kind of read about it. So I was like, let me see if I can do my very own version of it. But anyway, back to Mr. Grim Reaper. So I know usually Grim Reapers are kind of portrayed with the, black cloak. And they've got that... axe, well, not axe looking thing, it's called a slit or sleeve. I don't know what the exact term is or how you pronounce it, but that's what it is. And I kind of wanted to show it off to the side, kind of like he's like, hey, I'm just so tired. And I don't know, I've been in one of those moods today where I'm just kind of excited to draw this Grim Reaper. And when I was looking up, Pinterest somewhere yesterday evening, I was like, how can I make my Grim Reaper look more funny and more engaging for this whole Halloween playlist kind of thing, or for the actual playlist? I figured I was like, let me add some spots of color to him so he doesn't look dull and boring and, with that same raggedy looking black cloak that they always illustrate and show him in. There is another artist that I follow on YouTube. His channel goes by the name of Crispy Azik, and he's an illustrator, and he has some really good content on his channel. And what he does every October, instead of doing like the regular Inktober or anything relating to Halloween, he does something called Stinktober, which is kind of funny because he kind of like revamped the name and just made it his own. But what he does is he shares these prompts, and it kind of looks like a little, those personal calendars that you have, to jot down things. And he has all these prompts listed on the calendar. And instead of drawing things, he just kind of has people draw their stuff on their own time. And then just kind of share it, I guess, on his Instagram page. And then he kind of shares his version of what he has done. So that's what now that I'm thinking about it, I was like, maybe I should have done that. But doing the drawings is fun. It's just the recording part and getting that all situated and put together, that kind of takes time. But if I was actually drawing these, I think these would have gone a whole lot more quicker. And I could have added some more shading and more of the highlights to all of the illustrations and could have possibly spent more time with each and every one of them. But since it's just these simple tutorial videos, I figured I'd have to keep an eye on what is it I'm actually doing in the videos, so that way it would be more usable content for you guys. And hopefully I'll have been having fun so far with all the videos I've created up until now. Initially, when I was doing the rough sketch for him, I kind of wanted to do him in a pose where he was kind of like, hey, I'm kind of like, are you guys excited to see me? Kind of like that. But then I was like, maybe I'll just keep him to his regular poses that he's usually shown with, where he's standing and standing with that. I don't know why I cannot seem to pronounce that thing what he holds. It's called a slit, or I just call it an axe, which I know it's not, but for this video we'll call it the axe. But I think, yeah, drawing the axe over here is quite the interesting thing, because it actually this part actually reminded me of Child's Play Part 3, where they're all in that what do you call, like this entertainment kind of a fun theme park kind of situation, and the boy's trying to escape Chucky, and then out of nowhere, Chucky kind of shows up and his leg gets stuck, and then right at that point, like, the Grim Reaper in the actual cave of this ride kind of like just woof, like his thing just slides across the screen and, like, cuts his face off, and I was like, ooh, that was a interesting scene. I mean, yeah, it's really graphic in nature if you look at it, but it was kind of cool to see how they did the special effects and all for the movie, and I think any horror movie per se. Since the line art was kind of looking plain at this point, I figured I'd add some lines to show the detail to his robe and kind of help add to that whole torn and tattered looking feel that he's usually shown in. For this, pretty much you can look up different fabrics and see how fabrics are rendered in order, if you want to take it like to the next level and, like, make the fabric actually look realistic. But since this is just a simple tutorial, I figured I'd not go too much into detail. And for me, usually what I do is, if I'm looking to render something of a specific nature, like whether it be jeans or maybe it might be a pair of cargo pants, I'll kind of look up what do you call it, models, or just how the fabric falls on somebody that's wearing it, and then just try to incorporate my own style to it. So yeah, I kind of figured I'd do these little rings around his eyes to signify, like, kind of like how when you've had less sleep, how you get these bags and these dark lines underneath. So that's what I was going for. Drop some black into that area, or a dark color, so it kind of shows like it's all dark and mysterious looking. And then just add some more lines over here for the fabric to give it that fabric-y kind of look. How much detail you decide you want to add is totally up to you guys. You don't really have to do exactly everything that I'm doing. It's just to illustrate what fabric would look like, and if you wanted to show some sort of detail. But if you want to keep it without the lines, by all means, feel free to do that. And here we go. We have our line art. So now for the color, what I did was chose the new layer and obviously named it as color. And then, because the background's white, I kind of take it down to almost like a lightish gray. And I kind of have to look at my camera at this point to see how it looks, if it looks too dark or if it looks too light. Kind of adjust it a little bit over there. What this does is, it doesn't look overly bright and, kind of like gleaming off the screen or off the computer or whatever you'll end up watching it from. So yeah. So for this, I chose this darkish blue looking gray. So I think it kind of went well with the background. And then I kind of wanted to give him this accent for his fabric. So I gave it this sky blue looking color. So it's not like your usual Grim Reaper look. So that's what I wanted to keep different about him. The slit was with the blade, and then this lightish brown for the wood stick that it's attached to. And then kind of like an off-white beige for the actual skull. And for his little fingers over here. Boop, boop, boop. So for the eyes, I figured I'd go with a nice yellow. Almost like the Addams Family Uncle Fester kind of look yellow. And now for the shading, I'm just doing what I usually do in my other videos, which is use the line art and then just drop the opacity to about 30 to 40% depending on the illustration. And that's something, again, you guys can adjust it. If you think 30 is too light, you can bump it up to 40. And if you think 40 is too dark, maybe you can take it in the middle and keep it at 35. And I've pretty much tried all these different techniques in all the different illustrations I've done over the years. I've actually tried doing it this way and then actually manually picking the color. The biggest advantage of doing it this way is that if you feel like the color doesn't go right with the background or something clashes, you can just kind of change out the color, and then the shading automatically just follows onto the new color that you've chosen without having to manually redo it all over again. Another thing that you can try also is, instead of using the line art with the opacity turned down to 30 like I'm doing over here, you can actually choose different colors. You can either choose blue, you can choose red, you can choose green. Just try it and see what happens. Because what I've done is like when I'm not recording, and if I'm just drawing for fun and not to post on YouTube and just something that I want to add to my personal collection, I kind of just try that and see how it all turns out. Now for this one illustration I remember that I'd done, I think it was some sort of a tentacle that I'd drawn with a tongue, and instead of choosing the different shades of pink for the tongue, I actually chose a purple and adjusted the hue and saturation, and it kind of came out really cool looking. It's nothing that I've ever tried before, so it was a new experience for me as well. So I kind of liked how the illustration actually turned out. It almost gave the tongue that kind of like that glossy, wettish look without having to use like any light colors. So it was kind of like just like a airbrush kind of a feel to it. Procreate under the brush library has sure got a lot of standard brushes that have these nice textured looks to them. So what I'll do is sometimes if I'm drawing, I'll just try out these new brushes to see what the illustration actually looks like, and especially if you want to give some sort of texture to the illustration. And then I think even on Adobe Fresco is another one that has all these brushes that you can use in Photoshop as well. So it's kind of cool to have all these different options for brushes, especially when you're doing illustrations that have got different texture in it. Like, for example, if you're doing something with landscape or something, or if you're drawing a rock or something of that nature, it's nice to be able to use these brushes to get somewhat of a realistic kind of experience. For this now here, as I said, I just looked up different fabrics, and this was just me winging it to see what the fabric would actually look like, with the shadow hitting it from the bottom up, and making it look like like it's just kind of sitting on the ground and kind of like almost like dragging, and it's kind of like ripped apart. So again, this is again something that you can experiment and try for yourselves, and this is just one way of how you can do it. And if you find another way which is more easier, and try that. You can actually even use the selection tool. That also helps with that. What's cool about it is you can actually draw out a path and then just have the color drop into the selected area that you want. Another kind of illustration that I think is really cool is when you look at children's books. The fact that they don't use any line art in it is cool to see how they can get so many colors accomplished, because all it is just pretty much flat colors, and then you're just using shading and lights to show the difference between 3D objects or anything for that matter. So when it comes to drawing and illustration in general, what is it that you guys like? The people watching and maybe the new people that are following along? Comment below and let me know. Because for me, it just depends on the day. Like now for this playlist, I dedicated my time to say that, I'll draw all the Halloween and things relating to Halloween in this playlist. And when I'm not recording, I usually make notes on what is it that I could possibly show on the channel. And I think playlists is a cool way to get people interested, especially like, if you decide on drawing certain things, and kind of looking to decide what would be my next playlist. I don't know if it'll be a 30-day one, but it'll be a playlist nonetheless. But for the most part, between my two channels, whether it be the Blue Tablet over here and my Blue Cranium channel, which is, as I said earlier, is just dedicated just to skulls and skeleton art, I always have a fun time, just finding what would be the best form of content to create. And I think when it comes to any channel, I think on YouTube, finding that happy medium into what your viewers like and what you might like to teach, I think is where most people find it hard. I think, like for me, as I said, I've probably said this in other videos as well, I know what I want to draw and I enjoy drawing it, but sometimes I feel because I lack the whole teaching perspective, it's kind of hard for me to understand or to kind of do a video that actually teaches, so every day I kind of look at other channels that are doing videos where they teach, and just try to look at that and learn and get better. So for here now, for the highlights, I'm just going to show you all like a glimpse of it, and then most probably finish the rest of it off camera. I just chose the white color, and then just turn down the opacity to about 70, or I don't know if it was 70 or maybe 80%. And again, this is another thing. You can choose any other light colors to go with. White kind of has the best opacity when it comes to doing lights or highlights. So that's why I kind of stuck with that for this one, especially because it has more darker than light colors. And the eyes kind of came out a little good. But yeah, guys, I hope y'all have enjoyed the playlist up until now and all the characters that I've decided to draw for you guys or have drawn. So let me know in the comments what y'all have thought, which video y'all liked, which one was more interesting, what y'all liked about the video, what y'all didn't like. So that gives me a better understanding as to what I would do for the up and coming videos in the future on this channel. But anyway, guys, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this video up. And hopefully, as I said, you'll enjoy following along. And, share your stuff on Instagram and tag me in it. And we'll go from there, I guess. All right, guys, till the next time, keep creating. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye for now.